Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hlubi_Z, and if you are a new subscriber, welcome darling. If you are a returning subby, hello, welcome back to your channel that provides love and light always. Before we get it started, I'd like to remind you to subscribe, to comment, and your like don't cost a thing.
There is no one like you. There has never been anyone like you. There shall never be anyone like you. Therefore, know yourself. Be yourself. Authenticity is everything.
Okay, so today we're doing a sit-down video. You would have seen the title already. I have been contemplating this video for a long time, and it's only because I literally spent almost 2 weeks or 3 weeks now praying about it, and it's something that I had gotten enlightenment about when I started doing therapy last year after I went through a traumatic experience, and I've had to deal with myself. And if you're a person who's very intuitive, a person who's very aware, going through a time of confusion is not nice. It's not pleasant. It's tiring. It's spiritually draining. But one of the things that stood out for me the most during that time, and I feel like a lot of people need to hear it and a lot of people go through it, is the notion, or rather the feeling of comparing yourself to others. And this is in growth, this is in relationships, this is in family, friendships, anything that means a lot to you. Some of us, and I'm gonna say us in this video a lot because this is something I'm gradually working out of, and it's something that is really doing a lot for me because I'm able to now tap into the reasons why it was like that. And I got to realize that this was like a thing that I developed growing up and so much more. So in this video, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to give sort of like therapeutic advice, but I'm here to share how I felt, and you guys are more than welcome to share your experiences or certain instances or times in your life where you did feel like I feel or I felt in the comment section. Please share, guys. I would really love to hear that I'm not alone and have never been alone, and that's one of the things that has been a huge part of my growth. And I'm so happy to be doing this video, honestly, because it was something that I felt like a little bit awkward about confessing, or rather speaking about, because a lot of people were like, why would you do that? Some people who don't go through things tend to say a lot of things, and if you go through something and you move past it, you're able to sit like I'm sitting right now and talk about how the experience was. And I want to share my experience with you guys. So I'll take it back a little bit. We tend to, and this is from growth, right? We tend to associate ourselves with the hopes and dreams of others. Now, where does this inception start from? This is from when you have developed a sense of self somewhat in your teen years, and you then, obviously, your parents have high hopes for you. They have requirements of you. They've got expectations. And this is something I'm going to delve into a little bit later. So when you grow up and you feel like, okay, this is what my mom wants from me, this is what my dad wants from me, this is what the family expects of me, and you sort of align yourself very closely to all of that. And it's very hard as a Black child, as any child actually, growing up and realizing at some point, which happened to me, and I think this was like just out of high school when I was yet to decide what I want to do with my life. And I wanted to be in the media space, guys, for as long as I can remember. I have a book that I recently found about a year ago at home that detailed just how much I loved music and just how much I wanted to be a music producer and a sound engineer. And it was so eye-opening to realize that this is a feeling of just how much I still love music and how much I delayed myself, or rather rejected my own personal um dreams for myself, right? And I put them away just to accommodate others. And I spent about 3 years doing law, and I didn't like it. Guys, I was sinking. I was sad. I was not living my purpose. And as a creative person, if you are a person in the creative space, I'm sure you guys have witnessed a lot of deaths. You know, when people start to take dips, creative people are the ones that tend to have the darkest of dips. Like, it's either through depression or they eventually, you know, end their lives. And it's so sad to watch, but anytime I saw something like that happening, I was truly convinced that God loves me, because those are feelings that I've had. And I'm not going to compare like how I feel to, you know, how others felt to the point of ending their lives, but I will say this: it has been a heavy thing on my heart for years and years and years. And at some point I decided, you know what, I'm going to be in radio. So I joined campus radio, and that was, oh my God, eye-opening for me. It was eye-opening for me. It was eye-opening for my parents, or rather my mother, because I lost my dad at age 14, so I didn't get to experience him in my adult life. But I knew that, you know, more than anything, even after his passing, I wanted to make him proud, right? So it's still attached to, you know, just how I wanted to, you know, live up to the expectation. So I joined campus radio, very successful at it, became the producer, became a programming manager. I went ahead and I studied a course in radio production. So I am qualified in radio production, which I'm proud of it. But I've literally, again, in some part of my life, put it away. And this is just because life has interfered, but I'm really hoping now, where I'm more aligned, where I'm more in touch with what God expects from me and wants for me, that I will gradually get there. So anyway, this is, guys, honestly, this is not to make anyone sad. This is not everyone, this is like thought, a word for thought, right? So yeah, so I did that, was on pause, and then I ended up having to work. So I'm working now, and honestly, I think God has a way of um bringing you back to your true self. And it's so nice because wherever he places you, if you are close to him, because there's a word I absolutely love that says, seek you first the kingdom of God, and all other things shall be added unto you. So I spent a lot of time after my traumatic experience praying, you know, meditating on the word, asking God for wisdom, discernment, understanding. And then eventually I was obviously still working, still am, but not working in the field that I felt, you know, I need to be in. But the beauty of it all was, because I tend to, in my past, well, compare myself to others, I was like, you know what, how about I turn all of these things that are happening around me, or the people that I see are doing the most in fields that I would love to work in and my spirit gravitates towards, how about I change that perception to inspiration? And oh my God, guys, I will say, stop comparing yourself to others. You are unique. I'm sure even in your space, in your little corner, you've heard people say you're good at this, dream of this, do this, you know, live in this, and you've rejected them. Those are also words from God. Those are also indicators that God is speaking to you, and it is not to be taken for granted. Even in my workspace now, I was telling like my sister when I got a promotion that I do not understand why this is happening in this field, because I don't want to be here. Or at least, I'm not saying I was being ungrateful, right? It kind of sounds like that, but I was not understanding what God was wanting me to see, right? So This is actually in this industry that I'm in right now. It was the first place that I worked in that was completely different from media. So it was kind of crazy to me that, I'm doing so well. And then I was like, but let me pray more about this. Let me listen to God and let Him tell me, why am I doing this? Why am I in this space? Why am I, inspiring these people? And more often than not, I'd have people come up to me on some, Hlubi, you are just so vibrant, you're so lively, you are so kind, Hlubi, you inspire me, you've done this. And I'd be like, Lord, Ima, what are we doing now? Because I was so used to looking down on myself that anytime those kind of compliments came, I would be shocked. Like, and for not other guys, I would be almost like, what is this person talking about? What are they talking about? And then I turned it around. Remember, I said I wanted to come into a point of perspective and a point of inspiration. So I've got a lot of people that I know in the industry of music or media, influencer, all of these that I grew up with. Some I grew up with, some I met along the way, some were on campus radio together. They're doing exceptionally well. And I constantly watch them, constantly support them. And my heart becomes so full when I see that anytime that I show love to someone, anytime that I spend time nurturing, I get to be more blessed in my heart more than anything. And I started telling God that, you know what? I'm exactly where you need me to be. And honestly, I have a role to play. I have a role to play in my parents' life, my mother. I have a role to play in my siblings' lives. I have a role to play, and I have a niece. I have a role to play in my relationship and at work. And all of those people that I'm surrounding myself with, they love me to the core. They appreciate me. And this is not about me getting appreciated, but I didn't realize just how much I was neglecting what God was wanting me to see in my season. I honestly saw so many changes in my life. I saw me becoming much kinder to myself, and I started looking at others for inspiration rather than feeling like I could have done that and why didn't I do that. I actually am going to follow up this video with lessons that I think and that again is not going to be like to push anything upon you guys, but lessons I wish I had sort of consumed when I was in my 20s. If you don't know, I am currently 30 years old. I turned 30 last year in December. So I'm just trying to put that out there. So I'm going to put out a video that speaks about, things that I wish I knew in my 20s, right? And these are just lessons that I've come across, and hopefully you can, if you're still in your 20s, establish those kind of ideas for yourself or explore those kind of thoughts for yourself. Anyway, coming back, stop comparing yourself to others. When God made us, right, we always hear in the Bible when it says you are uniquely made, right? And we take that for granted. We think, okay, I mean, obviously, I don't have the same fingerprint. Obviously, I am not in the same family as everyone, all of that. But there's more about it. There's more to think about when it comes to that statement. When God made so many differences in each and every person He created, that means there is no gap for another person to fill yours. Do you understand? Let me maybe rephrase it, right? So because you are unique, because He has designed something specific for you, He has created you to fill a specific gap. No other person will be able to do it. But how do you unleash it though? How do you get to that point? You have to connect yourself with the designer. Right? Have you ever made an outfit? Okay, this is going to be probably crazy, but have you ever seen a picture on Pinterest, on Instagram, wherever, gone to another designer and made the same dress? It is never the same. I don't care if it's a thread. I don't care if it's the length. I don't care if it's the handwork. It is never meticulously the same. And I see our lives just like that. God designed us, but in order for us to be in touch with that true purpose, in order for us to be in touch with what we need to accomplish, God needs to be the one that we connect with. And guys, I'm so sorry to those that watch my channel and perhaps are not do not conform to the same deity as me. And honestly, I think this is a lesson for or advice for anyone, right? But I will tend to make reference to God because that is who I believe in, and that is who has, sort of molded me into who I am. So I'm going to apologize for the fact that if I'm leaving you out, if I'm not speaking true to you, I'm sorry, but it is just merely the fact that I'm a Christian and that's what I conform to, and that's my religious belief, right? So where was I? Okay, so talking about designer, so you need to be kept in touch with your designer, with your maker, right? Because other than that, have you ever had a cell phone? Again, cell phone goes dead. Where do you take your phone? To someone who can fix your phone. If you take it to, if you're using an iPhone and you don't take it for repairs at iStore, most likely that when you take it to another vendor, you're going to come back with that phone fixed, yes, but having problems. Some problem that you may know, not know technically, but no one will know best than the maker. And we never think about that in depth, right? And I got to a point when I was like, Lord, I am different. I've known that. Even in my family, there are less creatives in my family. I think I have a cousin of mine who's a designer, absolutely misunderstood, and I'm not going to speak more in depth about that, but there are areas where as creators we also don't have a way of expressing that ourselves, in the midst of a corporate family or a family that is learned and what. So that has been my understanding or my life, like how I saw things. And I was like, you know what, maybe people consider my cousins better than me because they're studying, they're doing these things, and I'm a creative, and inferiority complex, you might see it as that, and you know what, you might be right. And I had to work out of saying, you know what, I'm good at what I do, honestly. I just haven't had opportunity, but again, am I giving myself a chance? So in order for you to tap into your true purpose, I'm gonna leave you with this. Consider yourself a different person. But being different doesn't mean you are not worthy. Being different doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. So even if the circumstances are not speaking true to what you need, but it's important for you to understand that you are valuable. And your space in this life, in your industry, in whatever God has called you to do, will definitely have to have your footprint and your stamp on it. Otherwise, we're missing something in life. So there are certain lessons that you learn from certain people, certain motivation, certain friendships, certain relationships. I remember, thinking that, what, maybe in my lifetime, I need to be the one that is always in control of relationships. And then I had to turn around and say, okay, but even if when I view a perfect relationship that I see on Instagram or a perfect relationship I've witnessed in my parents, this is another thing. I need my relationship to be like that. But does it have to be like that? No, my relationship has to be what I groom it to be and what me and my partner both, understand it to be. And we tend to do this thing where, by all means, gain inspiration from those that come before you because there are certain lessons to be learned. But do not forget to tap into your specific gift, your specific power. And there's power in realizing who you are. There's power in living true to who you are. Lord, if I had more time, I would definitely talk about where I've come from, regarding this particular thing. There were instances when I was like, I'm not enough, I need to end my life. There's been instances where I'm like, this is not for me, should we find a job, go about that. But when I'm sleeping, when I wake up in the morning, this thing of me wanting to be in the media space, me believing that that is my space of flourishment, I lost it. I would either go into tears, I would rather go into, you know, sort of devastation. And then I turn to God and I say, Lord, let us share thoughts. You know, this is how I feel. And he has shown true to me. I'm not exactly in the space that I want to be, but I have a YouTube channel. I get to speak to you guys. And this is one thing that has been part of my heart for the years that I've done it. I think I've done for 2 years now, but not consistently. I think only because I also thought that there are people who are doing it better than me, so I took a back burner, and that was not the best move, honestly and truly. But now I'm in a space where I'm just like, Lord, I'm gonna live true to me. I'm gonna do me. Uhlubi has a space. Uhlubi needs to show the world who she is, and not for my benefit in all of it, but there's a purpose. And it will be such an injustice to the world and injustice to the kingdom if I do not exercise that power. I'm multi-talented, guys, and this is gonna come across very crazy, but I can sing. I am good on radio. I am good at public speaking. I'm good at emceeing, and God has given me, oh, I love to dance too, and I think I'm good at it, very good at it. So it's like all of these things are gravitating towards one thing. But I told myself, you need to sit down with yourself and plan. You need to sit down with God and plan. And there are so many lessons that I'm getting along that, you know, with that. So guys, I don't want to make this a lengthy video. Honestly, I wanted to share just this motivational, this word. I don't know how you're going to take it, but I wanted to share this with you guys to say, do not compare yourself to others. You have a purpose. Focus on you. I'm not saying be nasty to other people, you know, be narcissistic in your ways, but what I am saying is you deserve the light. In whatever room, you need to ask God to be present with you even before you step into there. Sometimes even pray about your name so that your name can be mentioned in rooms that you have not even entered in yet. So this is sounding a lot preachy, but I don't know how else to say it. I'm very moved by it. God is speaking through me, and I'm just sharing it with you. So please, guys, by all means, stop comparing yourself to others. Live true to yourself. I nearly used the cuss word, but like, forget about naysayers. Naysayers will definitely say what they feel is reality to themselves. And because you are doing the most, because you're making attempts, they don't understand where that courage comes from. They don't understand where that alignment and that self-realization comes from. So it's much better, or it's much more fulfilling to them to crush your dream. So please do not give in to naysayers. And that is it. This is exactly where I want to stop this video. Please look forward to more content, and by all means remember that you do not lose your light by igniting the light of others. And I hope you enjoy this video, as short as it was, but I hope that whoever needs to hear this has received it, and I thank God for giving me this moment with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Please do not forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe. Keep sharing light, guys.